Why do you hate Alan Moore? What did he do to you?
Did he show you
a magic trick and it went bad?
That we would not make fun of magic on this show, sir.
Okay, Harry Houdini.
All right.
I thought you were a musician. I didn't know that you're into magic too.
Yes.
They blend together.
Thank you.
How about a magic trick?
Allah, peanut butter sandwiches!
But that trick never worked.
This time for sure.
We love magic.
Oh, you should put that speech on tape.
He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Hello, Chicago, hello!
Hello.
Gotta drink to that!
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
Some Margaritaville.
It's a nice song that people have created this mythology that it's really not worth.
It's a horrible song.
Why do you say that?
It's a horrible song, really.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the song.
Yes, it is.
It's just
yes,
that it's that's basically
it's
his
worst version of him trying to do reggae.
Yeah, well,
I got nothing against white guys doing reggae, but do it good at least. Yeah, and Sting milled the hell out of it for decades, and he was at least passable at it. Buffett does it. It sounds horrible. It sounds generic.
Yeah, think of how much money Buffett made out of a song.
That bastard is a billionaire now.
Right.
God, I hate him.
So restaurant, bar, iced tea,
best friends with Harrison Ford.
Yep. Yeah, iced tea, everything. Drink line. I don't know if he has food. He probably has food.
The damn song has 2 chords.
It doesn't matter.
And he's making
it's catchy.
That's a terrible thing to say. That's a terrible damn thing.
You think of it.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
This is a 1970s act which is still popular now.
Somewhere.
Very few acts. Even Kiss isn't that popular now.
Right, even they're not popular.
No, they're not. They're not. No, not.
Kiss still draws crowds, but nothing like Buffett does.
Buffett keeps clogging along. And until he drops dead, he's going to keep clogging along. He's not going anywhere.
He doesn't have a successor to his empire.
Yeah, he does. Alternate reality. The alternate reality. Hey, folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome to the alternate reality.
Go segue.
News time! It's a news episode of Alternate Reality, and I am being joined today by the one, the only, the inimitable...
Rod Flash the Sucker.
Rod Flash the Sucker.
Why?
Hey, Rod Flash Sucker. How you doing?
Went to the Jimmy Buffett concert?
I fell for that segue. That's why I'm a sucker.
And of course, joining me is the man himself, the man who's always in the know, the man who knows what's going on with the pulse of the nation.
Hello, kids. It's Bo.
Hello, kids. It's Bo.
How you doing?
And he's about as...
How's the wife and kids?
He's about as smooth as sandpaper on silk.
How's the pets doing? Everything okay?
Well, like I said, this is an all-news update. We're coming to you from Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. If you come in on New Comic Wednesday, all new first issues are 25% off all day long. Super Sunday sales every Sunday. Our hero of the month this month, July 2018, it is Batman, because he was supposed to have gotten married and he didn't.
What a shock.
He was supposed to have gotten married.
Oh my God, what a shock.
But he's still hero of the month, which means all the trade paperbacks are 25% off all month here at Alternate Reality. And like I said, this is a news show. We're going to do the 3 most important news on the face of the earth. Comic book, media, wrestling news, nothing else matters. And we're going to start with comic book news. Bo?
Yes?
DC Comics.
Yes?
It's a new Wonder Woman team. Why do they have a new Wonder Woman team? What's wrong with the old team?
The old team, since Greg Rucka left, has been a couple people who worked on the book for like 6 to 8 issues, and then they left.
Floating.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Robinson came and did something, somebody else came and did something, and now they're coming up with another team, and we hope this team lasts longer than 6 to 8 months. It's G. Willow Wilson and Carrie Nord.
Yeah, Carrie Nord.
Carrie Nord is doing the unexpected, which means he's going to be unexpected for how many issues now? Because he can't draw 2 books a month.
Well, I think Unexpected is a miniseries. Isn't it 5 issues?
No, they don't have miniseries for that waste of time new line that no one sees.
No. There's one or two of them that are miniseries. There's one or two of them that are miniseries.
I think The Unexpected is a miniseries.
I think Unexpected is a 5-issue miniseries.
Well, then he should be able to do this book because the book pops up in November. G. Willow Wilson actually made her comic start at DC Vertigo.
Yeah.
You know, she created Air and Cairo, and then she left and went over to Marvel, and she co-created Miss Marvel.
Well, Nord and Wilson, their first arc is called The Just War.
The Just War.
Now, any idea? That's going to be in November. Any idea what's that going to be about? Steve
Trevor has disappeared somewhere in some Middle Eastern land. Wonder Woman is going after her, and somehow Ares, who in the last arc was captured in an unbreakable prison, somehow gets out.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah, what a shock. Ares is free.
This is an unbreakable prison which you'll never, ever be able to get out of until the next issue.
Yeah, sure. Until the next writer takes over and goes, I'm changing that.
And then we're going to kill you and you're going to stay dead forever, at least for 3 more issues.
Yeah, like Sentry. Yeah, he's dead.
Like Sentry. Now, G. Willow Wilson, she cut her teeth on Ms. Marvel, didn't she?
Yeah, she co-created Ms. Marvel.
Okay. So she's one of the milkshake girls that some people get all upset about.
No. They were upset about the editors, not the creators.
Oh, not the creators. Oh, the creators get to skate by the editors. Oh, the editors.
Because we don't see the editors at cons, so we can pick on them because we can't see them.
Yeah.
But the creators are at cons, and if we pick on them, they'll go, hey, and maybe they'll beat the crap out of them.
Oh, God. Milkshake girls. Jesus.
That popped back up on Facebook about a week or two ago and go, this isn't a new story. Why is it on Facebook again?
Ladies, if you're listening out there, I'm saying it with a depressed sigh in my voice. That such a thing could even be labeled, talked about, and made anything of.
Check back and check previous versions of this podcast. You can find out what it actually means.
Okay, moving on with DC news. Robert Venditti is confident that he can avoid roadblocks that come with doing Hawkman, his new series. What roadblocks could he possibly
Well, let's see. He was Carter Hall, who was an Egyptian god, who ended up replacing an Egyptologist named Carter Hall. Then he was Carter Hall, a cop who lived in Hawk World, who took the identity of Carter Hall and
the archaeologist.
I thought Jeff Johns cleaned most of that up with the reincarnation thing. Die, get reincarnated.
No, he didn't clean it up at all. It's still confusing. And Hawkgirl's just as confusing. That's why for the first arc of Hawkman, she's not there. Because he goes, I'm only going to try to straighten up one thing at a time. And one of the things he's going to do in the first arc, which is Brian Hitch's art, we don't know how many issues Hitch is actually going to be able to do.
Oh, I would not expect.
I go with 6 issues, and then he has someone coming in to fill in for a while and then come back.
Okay, is he doing anything else?
No, this is it.
This is the only
thing he's working on.
Probably 6 then, yeah.
6
This is the only thing he's working on. And he said one of the things that Venditti said he's going to do is Hawkman's villains kind of blow.
What does he got? He's got I forget
Shadow
what it is.
Thief.
Shadow Thief. He's got the birds with the he's got the giant hawks with the monkey heads or whatever the hell they are.
I think they're called manhawks.
Or with the men heads. I don't know what they are.
I've forgotten who the hell those people even are.
There's of course whoever he's pissed off at on Thanagar.
Yeah.
whatever general or military guy, which goes back to the Tim Truman arc.
General Snip.
The Tim Truman run.
Now, apparently the second issue of the ship, it apparently does something different with time travel, which was quite unique.
Yeah, I just read the second issue. They're saying that Hawkman has been around a lot longer than we thought.
He's been around a long time, and the problem with this arc is he doesn't remember of the other lives that he's had since then, so people who've met along the way are going, remember when you did this? He goes, I don't remember that.
Well, that's the whole reincarnation thing. I mean, he goes back at least to ancient Egypt.
Yeah, he dies, he comes back.
Well, according to this new arc, they also said something about Krypton,
He goes further than that.
They even threw him on Krypton for...
They threw him off Krypton. Huh?
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing on Krypton? Then they have him on
Get your butt off Krypton.
I give this guy good luck trying to clean up Hawkman, because every time they get the character going, what is it, 15, 20 issues, he's gone somewhere, some big crisis happened, and then we go, oh, Hawkman's gone, then it starts over again.
I don't think there's any Hawkman series that's lasted more than 40 issues, and I am taking into account the Hawkman series that became Hawkgirl about 10 years ago, which ran like 55 or 60 issues, but ran as Hawkgirl from like 40 to 55, 60. So that sort of doesn't count. It does, but it doesn't count. No, most Hawkman, I think he's lucky to get like 40 issues out on a series, and with today's buying habits, I think he'd be lucky to make 25.
Oh, well, like I said, it depends on who's following up Hitch. If it's somebody really good, and the people will be willing to wait for Hitch to come back.
Romita Jr. Go for it.
Romita Jr. is at the point now where his DC contract's probably about over with, and I don't think he's going to be there much longer.
Romita Jr. actually wouldn't be a bad choice for
He'd be a good voice for it.
artist on Hawkman. I mean, he really would. It's virgin territory. The only people who've actually made a mark on Hawkman, which is lasting, is Joe Kubert, obviously. And who did the art with when Jeff Johns was running?
Rags Morales.
Rags Morales. Rags Morales. Those two people are the only people who have made a... I'm thinking really hard here, and there's probably somebody else, but I can't think of who it is. But I think those are the only two people that really made a dent in Hawkman. So somebody could come along and make that character his own if he wanted to. You know, not that Johnny Romita Jr. needs to be making his bones anywhere. I think he's done that already. But I mean, if you're looking to, hey, I'm also identified with this character, Hawkman would be a great place to do that with, because you can go crazy with that character.
William Sharp.
I mean,
would be perfect with that book.
The character flies. He's got those wings.
And he hits you in the face with a mace.
The helmet hits you in the face with a mace. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that you could play around with if you're an artist.
Make him more violent.
Not that Hitch won't do a wonderful job. I'm sure he will. But
no, the art's quite good. The art's quite good. And one of the things Ben Didi said is he's trying to come up with stuff in the story to have him Hitch do things that he usually doesn't do. So he's basically trying to challenge him with each issue. And he says, when the pages come back in, he goes, man, he took that challenge and didn't even flinch. What else can I throw at him? He took that challenge too. What the hell else am I going to throw at him? So they're looking at this, can you top this thing? You get the script, he gives me the art, I look there and go, wow. And you get the script, he goes, wow, I can do this. And you go, boom. So.
Okay. This next story is either going to be really big or really stupid on DC's part. And that's the whole Heroes in Crisis thing.
Yes.
I've looked at that, I've read it, and I'm just not sure about it. I mean, I think the idea itself is probably a good idea. I'm just not sure how you're going to spin any action out of it or how you're going to make any sort of story out of it. It's basically therapy.
No.
I'm going into therapy now. Great.
It's actually the 7-issue limited series is going to be a murder mystery. So someone in DC is going to be killed.
Well,
that's Sanctuary.
Well, before you get any farther, initially when I was first reading this, parts of it reminded me an awful lot of Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
It sounds
DC said, let's put Crisis on it. Why? Well, you could have just called it Sanctuary. Let's put Crisis on it so people will go, it's a bigger deal.
Well, yeah. Right. Well, Identity Crisis did that for the same reason. If we call it Crisis,
hey, it's Crisis.
Yeah.
It's DC Crisis, big deal.
So Heroes in Crisis. You will get people to at least initially pick up the book. Now, sales on number 2, depending on how number 1 is, will either drop a little or nosedive big time if nothing's going on in this thing.
I think Tom King's got enough cachet that the book will keep going. Clayman's a good artist. He's not a spectacular artist. People don't go, wow, it's Clayman, but he's a really good, solid artist. But I've already heard from a couple places online that internally, the series is in the middle of editorial interference in what King wants to say. So this thing could end up being a horror show.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
What is wrong with DC editorial?
They can't stay out of everybody's way.
As far as Heroes in Crisis go, and Sanctuary, what is the difference between Heroes in Crisis and Sanctuary?
Sanctuary is what he came up with, and then DC said, why don't you call the miniseries Heroes in Crisis?
Okay, Heroes in Crisis. Okay, so we're going to call it Heroes in Crisis. Is this thing supposed to spin into anything, or is this just a 7-issue murder?
It's just a 7-issue murder mystery.
Well, I mean, the setup for it is this is for heroes
after missions and have hard times.
Yeah, hard psychological times.
Yeah, so it's Booster Girl and Harley Quinn are the two suspects on the DC character that's going to be murdered in the first issue.
Okay.
So that's how you sell the book. You kill somebody off in the first issue.
Which one of these two killed this character, which we all love? And it could be anybody. It's probably not anybody. It could be.
I'm sure it's going to be a Jean Loring level character.
Yeah, it could.
No, she's dead.
No, not Jean Loring.
I know you mean a Jean Loring character.
Jean Loring level character.
A level character.
Yeah.
Somebody that hasn't been seen for 20 years shows up just to be cannon fodder.
Okay. Yeah, someone like if you're going to pull someone out of the air, Atlanta, who's married to Adam Strange. Yeah. Somebody like that. No, not Lana Lang, because Lana Lang has done too damn much stuff on TV and in cartoons and in movies and stuff.
Bibbo.
Bibbo.
Yeah, you kill Bibbo.
You could kill Bibbo.
Why'd you kill Bibbo? He's an imbecile.
But the point behind this setup is to create in the DC universe some sort of place where heroes and villains can go for counseling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just doesn't sound like there's a lot there to work with.
Oh, but did you see the cover? You see what Superman was holding?
Well, yeah, the Psycho
Paris mask, the Medusa mask.
They're worlds within worlds. That's where you go, crisis.
Apparently, he's the only person that remembers that.
He remembers everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he remembers everything.
It'd be funny if he's actually one of the doctors that's in Sanctuary.
He could be the person that gets killed.
No, he could be the one that gets killed. Speaking of DC editorial, are we done with this story? Because I want to do one.
Yes.
You don't have a list here, but I want to talk about one thing that we haven't done in the news in a little while. And some stuff has happened since the last time we were here. But Batman 50 and the whole Tom King news release 3 days before the book hit.
Yeah, DC said, I'm sorry. He went, really? You had to spoil the story in the New York Times before the book even shipped? Really?
Yeah, the New York Times ran the story about Batman 50 Sunday or Monday?
Sunday, I think.
The Sunday before the book actually shipped. By the time Monday morning rolled around, everybody knew
because it was all online.
What the contents of Batman 50 were going to be before the thing shipped.
Yeah.
Which would have been nice for some of the rest of us to know who ordered the damn thing.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, well, I know what happened. What the hell do I need to buy the book for?
Well, here's the thing. I've read two different things about it. Tom King was upset about it initially, but there's a secondary piece to this, which they talked to DC editors about. They said, look, do you know how much publicity for this comic that news story generated?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we spoiled the ending.
Yes, you did.
But yes, we also got the word out there on this big comic that nobody would have known anything about until well after the book had shipped. So people were aware of that book outside of comic book stores. In the rest of the world, I wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
But you could have waited till that Wednesday morning to release the story.
That's coordination. Go to the New York Times and say, "Can you run this on Wednesday?"
Yeah, they're like, no, we already blocked that space in the paper, so we can't.
But I keep reading all these stories about all these stores that were open at midnight. Alternate Reality was not, because we're open at 7 a.m. on New Comic Wednesday. So no, I will never be here for a midnight release. That will not be happening because I have to be here at 7 a.m. to open up.
Yeah, it would be like, am I sleeping in the store? What the?
Gee, I'm going to be open for 1 hour, so a handful of people come in, buy their book, and leave. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Come back at 7 in the morning.
And then come back at 7 in the morning.
I don't think so.
No, that's not going to happen. But I'm seeing all these stories about other stores. I mean, they're doing weddings with cosplay and wedding cakes and all this stuff. I've got to think a lot of that was feeding right into the news story.
Yeah, it was. There was an anticipation. Well, this is what's happening? Wait a minute. First it's like, Batman and Catwoman getting married? How's that going to happen? She's a villain. He's a hero. Yeah. For people who don't read comics, they go, well, she's not really a villain. Not anymore. She's a villain, but she's not like a hardcore villain.
Well, those of you who are just familiar with Catwoman, even through the TV series, you know that there were episodes where she was sort of on the fence.
Yeah.
Where Batman and Catwoman would be romancing each other at the end of an episode. Not the Eartha Kitt one, but the Julie Newmar one. Okay, moving on to Marvel news. The Los Angeles Police Department is investigating reports that Stan Lee is a victim of elder abuse?
Yeah. The LA Police Department's gotten involved. He is a new Guardian. The Guardian who was around before has been officially banned from having anything to do with Stan.
Well, who blew the whistle on this?
Someone called the cops. And the cops showed up, checked out the house, and the guy basically running everything Stan was doing before that point, he shows up at the house, and he sees the cops there because they're doing a welfare check. He goes, well, how come I can't get it? He calls the cops, and they go, we are the cops.
Who's K.M. Morgan?
K.M. Morgan is the guy who was in charge of everything Stan Lee was ever doing. He was the guy who booked his convention appearances. He was setting up all his business stuff. He was supposedly managing his money. But as we've known, things started disappearing from Stan's house.
Doesn't Stan have a daughter?
Yes, and Stan's daughter actually was also involved in calling the LAPD and going, you need to check this out.
That's the daughter. She would have primary responsibility, not this guy.
No, she wouldn't, but he was around Stan all the time. And actually, he said when he did the welfare check, the detectives who were there said that, they got the idea that Morgan was influencing Lee a lot. So, now he's got a new Guardian, and he's being watched by the LAPD because he said Stan's worth like $15 million. That's how much money he's got. He also posted a video yesterday saying, hi, if you're my friend, I'm your friend, I'm fine, everything's cool. Things are much better now than they used to be.
Who, Stan did it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. To be honest with you, I wasn't even sure that Stan was still talking.
Oh, he's talking.
Yeah, he did a tribute to Steve.
Yeah, he also talked about Steve Ditko. Yeah, he talked about Steve Ditko also.
Something else which happened since the last time we taped, but we're going to get to that in another episode of the show. But obviously Steve Ditko passed. But we'll talk about that, like I said, later. Nick Spencer and Ryan Ottley. Now, the Amazing Spidey 1 has come out.
Yes.
And it's got everything in it but the kitchen sink.
Yeah. He's basically going, look, this is what we're doing. Oh, by the way, the no spoilers thing specifically applies to Amazing Spider-Man. Spencer's made this quite clear. the first 6 issues of this book are not going to be like the next 6 issues. You are not going to know what's coming from him at any moment in time. If you think you're comfortable, he says, you're not going to be. Because I want people to be surprised every time they walk into the store and pick up an issue. He said, and J. Jonah Jameson will be popping up at some point, but he goes, he's in Spectacular. I'm going to let Chip Zdarsky deal with that stuff. I'll bring him in. He also said all the big name Spider-Man villains, okay, some of them have been looked upon over the years as jokes. They're not going to be jokes anymore.
Well, the first issue concentrates heavily on Mysterio.
Yeah.
And Lizard shows up. Spoiler for anybody who hasn't picked up the book yet.
Well, Lizard's on the cover.
Well, a lot of people.
Everybody are on the cover.
Rhino's on the cover. I don't think he shows up in the book.
No.
But Rhino's on the cover. This Lizard shows up in the last page, which I was talking to someone about that. Apparently, Lizard has made an appearance since he ate his son in the McFarlane run. I thought that Lizard was sort of more or less taken off of the table by Marvel since he ate his kid.
No, he was in the storyline from last year, the Clone Saga with Ben Riley.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Because he brought back Billy and his wife, Martha.
They're back.
Oh, he brought him back?
Yeah.
How'd they bring him back?
Jackal had that cloning process thing. He basically told Spider-Man.
So it's clones of the kids. It's not the kids.
Yeah, the clones of them. Yeah.
He still ate his kid.
As long as he still ate his kid, but as long as there's DNA left over, you can bring him back.
Yes, if you saw Jurassic World, like, we got a bone here, we can do anything
we can bring him back. So
it's okay for Lizard to eat his kid and crap him out because we're just going to make another one. So what that sounds awfully morally gray to me.
Well, it also makes
it
also makes Lizard creepy as hell.
And
that's the point he's trying to make.
And not only that, he has the brain of Kirk Connors, and he's trying to act like Kirk Connors, but he's the freaking Lizard now. He can't change back.
Yeah, well, he's stuck.
So it's like, where's my son? You ate your son.
What?
You realize that?
You don't remember No. I did? Oh my gosh.
My attitude towards that when it first came out to this day is what a great way to ruin a character. Because you can't do much of anything with that character except kill him after he eats his kid. I mean, really.
Or he kills himself.
Either that or make a new Lizard.
Yeah, or make a new Lizard. What you could do.
Bo?
Yes?
The end is here.
Yes, it's coming.
They're finally going to wrap up, or at least they say they are.
No, it's going to be wrapped up. It's over with.
They're finally going to wrap up the X-Men storyline with the original X-Men coming from the past into the present, finding out all about themselves, and then I guess at some point being put back into the past, still knowing all about themselves.
Well, no.
I think they got to get brainwashed at some point.
They decided to stay. But they were told, if you go back, you will remember nothing that happened while you were here in the present.
Okay, but if they stay, that's going to cause a causality loop.
It's a causality loop, and apparently the loop's going to come due in this 5-issue Extermination Limited series.
Yeah, so they have to go back.
They've got to go back. Because they're going to be visited by older versions of the original 5 from a future that is really, really screwed up. And they're going, you really need to go back. Why? Because you're not going back as why everything's all screwed up. They had to go back where they came from.
Well, they got to go back. Yeah, they can't
stay here. You can't have 2 versions of the same character here. And Ed Brisson says when this series is over with, he says, look, I'm not going to wipe out anything that's ever happened. Everything that's happened in X-Men continuity still exists. And he says when this is over with, some of these people are not going to make it in one piece. They're going to die. You're going to have the original X-Men, X-Men Blue, X-Men Red, and a brand new X-Force, the old school X-Force, the one that Rick Remender was working on. And Ahab's the main villain and someone helping Ahab. And he says, when this is over with, everything's going to be completely different because in the fall, X-Men Red and X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold will no longer exist. Those books are gone.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the colors. They're bringing back Uncanny and just plain X-Men.
Yeah, and we'll find, San Diego is going to be a bunch of X-Men announcements.
Yeah, they're going to be that's coming up in San Diego.
Yeah. Although, I can see X-Men Red might stick around. I just think.
Well, Astonishing will probably stick around too.
Astonishing got a new creative team. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, sold it as 12 and moved on. Now you've got Matthew Rosenberg working on the book now. Yeah, and they're going to do the same thing when Whedon came up. You know, they'll work for 12 issues. Go away, work for 12 issues. New team comes in. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, we got one indie story and it involves the Archie universe.
Everything's Archie.
Archie 700 is going to have big creative changes coming to the books.
Nick Spencer and Marguerite Sauvage.
Now, for those of you who are wondering about Archie 700, I assume they're legacy numbering it. And at some point, 700 was in the mix anyway.
Legacy, and the book ended about whatever number it was in the Mark Waid Staples thing came up.
Yeah.
Archie's going to be disappearing for the Archie 1942 storyline. And then $6.99 will ship. It'll be a $1 issue, which will be, this is what Archie's all about. This is a retro thing. Hi, this is who the characters are. And then Spencer and Marguerite Sauvage take over, and he says his book will be a little closer to Riverdale, but without the creepier aspects of Riverdale, because I can't do a mature reader's book because it's still Archie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Archie book that's out right now, which is up around 30 or 31 or 32 or something,
32.
that is patterned on Riverdale, isn't it?
It's patterned on Riverdale, but it's not as dark as Riverdale is and has become.
Well, Riverdale's just psychotic.
Riverdale's weird. It's very strange.
It's a good psychotic, though.
Yeah, it's a good psychotic.
You're also going to get a new Betty and Veronica book in December from the woman who's doing Betty and Veronica Vixens, which is ending. So you're starting over with a new Archie book and a new Betty and Veronica book.
I think Vixens is 7 issues.
Yeah, 7. No, 7. I think it got canceled. It was supposed to be an ongoing. I think it just ended. They just decided to end it. Okay. Probably because she's going to work on the new book. So.
Okay, that's it. We're going to take a break. Be sure to stick around for the end of the show, folks. JR will be here with his review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. But for now, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with media news. Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality is the only brick-and-mortar store that discounts all new comics 15% off every day for everyone, and that's been since 1994. And all brand-new first issues are discounted at 25% off every new Comic Wednesday. So stop on down and save some money. And we're back. Bo, I hear that there is finally a sequel to Zombieland. You're kidding me. They're actually going to do a sequel to Zombieland?
To nut up or shut up is finally coming.
Nut up or shut up.
10 years ago. Multiple things have happened to get out of the way. They got the original cast, the original writers, the original director, original producers, and it'll be out next October. 10 years to the date that Zombieland came out.
I know.
People went, what the hell is this?
And Zombieland was before Walking Dead.
Zombieland was way before Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was way before Walking Dead.
Yeah, you look and you go, okay, this is a Woody Harrelson movie, and this is...
And you actually believe him as a tough guy, too.
Yeah.
That's what was funny about it.
Yeah.
Of course, as far as tone goes, I mean, it really has nothing to do with Walking Dead.
No.
I mean, the only thing it has in common with Walking Dead is zombies and post-apocalypse.
Yeah,
but
apparently this one will have them start out of the White House and go across America to fight newer versions or weirder versions of the zombies they were fighting before. So, I guess I'll have to explain why Abigail Breslin's taller since she was a kid in the first one.
Well, if they're smart, they'll just push everything 10 years ahead. They won't act like it's the day after the last movie. You know, they'll it's been 10 years since we last saw you guys, and, you know, this one's taller because she's older.
Yeah, she's older.
And this guy we couldn't get to re-sign, he's dead.
But yeah, the whole cast is coming back together. I'm looking forward to this thing.
Okay, the only other media story you have is not really a story. Avengers 4 is not called Endgame. I think everybody knows that. They said that they weren't going to announce Avengers 4's title until San Diego.
If you picked up this week's Red Eye on the back cover, it says on the back cover, Avengers 4 is called Endgame.
Okay.
They were late. It's not called Endgame. They don't have a title. The Russo brothers have just finished their first edit. They're going through the second pass. Probably find out what the name of it is by
They said San Diego.
No, they're not going to tell you about it next week.
I thought they were going to announce the title at San Diego.
Marvel Studios, the movie part of Marvel Studios is not going to San Diego. They're taking San Diego off.
Yeah, I know that, but I thought that they were still going to make that announcement. Comic-Con weekend.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, well, the only thing the first thing you'll see is the Captain Marvel trailer before you see the Avengers thing. So, and you'll wonder about poor Ant-Man.
What about poor Ant-Man?
No, you haven't seen the movie yet, so you can't spoil it.
No, I haven't.
Poor Ant-Man.
No, I haven't. I'm thinking about going to see it tonight, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Hope you enjoy seeing it twice. And no, I'm not paying for your ticket.
It cost me like $5.65.
It will cost you considerably more tonight. So that's it for media news?
That's it.
Nothing else is going on.
Well, there was one thing that probably you should.
Well, please speak up. You're sitting here for a reason.
Talk, young man.
I will. You know how popular Black Lightning is on CW, right?
Yes.
Well, the two creators, Trevor Von Eaton and Isabella.
Yeah.
Trevor Von Eaton got a check from CW.
Yeah.
Guess how much the check was?
$20?
Nope.
How much?
$4,195.
Okay, how much did
that's probably the most money he's ever gotten off Anchor.
So he put it on Bleeding Cool News. I just happened to flip through it this morning and saw it.
How big was Isabella's check?
Isabella never said how much his check was.
Did he get a check?
I'm sure he did because the credit said Black Lightning created by Tony
That doesn't
Isabella.
mean anything.
Oh, I forgot
Just
the CW.
Just as a Siegel and Schuster family.
Well,
I forgot about the CW. They do stuff like that.
$4,000 check is probably he'll get more than one check.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
It hasn't been out on video yet, and it's another check. And then season 2 is going to happen. That's another check.
Won't they make more money by streaming than video now?
You'll actually make the same amount of money through both. But there are people that want to go into a store and buy the actual box set. Now, the video rights, that's actually 2 different rights things. He's getting a check with the streaming because it's on Netflix now. And he's getting a box when the box set comes out because all the DC CW things are all coming out like a week apart.
I was just laughing at it because I'm looking at it. Trevor Von E just flashed his check on there, and it showed how much they took out of it. It said, "This is how much I got paid for Black Lightning season 1."
I hope he blurred out vending numbers on it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, no, he left the routing number on there.
Oh, no.
I was like, really? You left the routing number on there?
Jeez Louise, man.
Why would you leave the routing number on there?
You know, if you're going to do that, you Photoshop the thing so you blur out the routing number.
Only thing he blurred out was his address.
First, you got to figure out what bank he's at.
Does
I
the
think
check
the bank has the bank on there.
Is the name of the bank on the check?
Yeah, is the name of the bank on the check?
No, matter of fact, it's from DC. DC sent it to him.
Okay.
What's a DC check?
Yeah, it had the nice DC bullet on the corner of it. And then it said Trevor Von E, and address blocked out, and then the deductions and everything. And at the bottom it said $4,195.
That was the net. Did you happen to see what the gross was?
Yeah,
I mean, you said there were deductions on there.
You figure what? You took 28% out of it, so you add 29% to the $4,000, and whatever else that they took out, Social Security, taxes, and whatever the hell else there is.
So yeah, probably closer to 6.5.
It might have been 6.5. It might even more than that. And they said it's probably the first of many checks. You're gonna get more checks. I mean, if it's on streaming, then whatever money they made on the Netflix deal, he's going to check for that, and whatever money they make out of the video things, he's going to check for that. So if it sells really well on video, he'll get a bigger check. When's the last time Trevor Von Eden worked in a comic?
Yeah, Trevor Von Eden fell off the face of the earth.
Thriller. After Thriller, he disappeared.
Yeah, well, did he do anything at Milestone?
No. He did something at Milestone.
Was he part of?
Did he work on Zombie or he worked on something at Milestone?
I think it was the Shadow Cabinet. The team.
Yeah, he probably worked on Shadow Cabinet, but he hasn't done any comic work.
No, he hasn't. It's been a while since I've seen his name.
Remember when he started? He was like 19 years old. So
okay, so he's in his prime now.
Yeah, he's in his prime. We got Milestone 2.0 coming. They go, Trevor, you're not doing anything. Come on, let's go.
They should.
Yeah,
they should. Okay, it's it for media news. We're going to come back. We're going to do wrestling news after this break. And like I said before, be sure to stick around. JR is going to be here at the end of the show. And he's going to be here with his review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I haven't seen yet.
You know, folks, there really is no other store that has as many sales as Alternate Reality. Beyond our signature sale of 15% off all new comics, we also have specialized sales peppered throughout the week, month, and year. For example, did you know that every Thursday is Ladies' Day at the store? That's right, ladies. Stop by the store and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long. Ladies from 8 to 80 get a 20% discount on everything all day, every Thursday, only at Alternate Reality.
Hello everyone, JR here. Make sure you stick around at the end of the podcast for my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Trust me, these are a couple of pests you won't want to swat away. And now, back to 3 men who have made anonymity a household name, Comicbookman, Bo, and Rod Flash. Take it away, guys.
And we're back with wrestling news. Oh, Bo, what the hell is going on with the Hart family over at the WWE? This is the saga that never ends, even though most of the family wants to live in a non-drama lifestyle. Apparently, it just keeps continuing with them.
Brett did an interview on a podcast which he said that Martha Hart, Owen Hart's wife, has done more to destroy Owen's legacy than anyone could ever do in their possible lives, because he said, look, she won't let any video come out with his name on it. The WWE would love to put him in the Hall of Fame. She constantly says no. And then she got upset and basically said, I find it very hurtful that you would say something like that. That you would say, I don't care about my ex-husband. I do care a lot about my ex-husband. I just don't want the WWE to make money on anything. And people can still remember him. And we have the Owen Hart Foundation, and we help people through charity. You know, and as I'm reading this, I'm going, yeah, Martha, but here's the problem. You won't let them put any video out of him, Owen. So how are fans supposed to see any video of him if you refuse to let it come out? The only video we've ever seen is the Hart Legacy box set, which you can't even get anymore. The Owen Hart Foundation is making money on the death of Owen Hart. So you're making money on his death as well. So how is the WWE at fault?
Well, she can say that the money is then going to whatever the foundation is backing up.
And I'm quite sure that if she actually wasn't so... And he said she's stubborn and rock-headed, or block-headed was what Brett said.
Well, she's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey there. Yeah, hey there.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, and it's the point where she's like, look, you married him. He was my brother. I'm more in charge of his legacy than you are.
Oh, right.
And by the way, I'm not slamming Canadians. Canadians are wonderful.
No, Canadians are fine.
So is this thing ever going to end, or how?
You know, this is going to end when Martha Hart drops dead.
She's not. She's in pretty good health from what I've seen.
She's in pretty good health from what I've seen.
Relatively young still.
Or at a certain point, she's just going to go, why am I still fighting this?
Well, she's got kids, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they adults by now?
Well, and that's the other thing. There are friends of Owen who still work at the WWE who would like to talk to his kids. She won't let them.
They're adults. If they want to come to the WWE and say hi, they can.
Well, they probably would. And they probably do.
You know,
and they don't tell Mom, oh, by the way, Mom, I was at the show last night and I met The Undertaker, and we all went to dinner together and we had fun.
By the way, Mom, I'm 24. I think I'll drive over to the stadium and say hi to someone.
Right, I think you can see
to say hi to Uncle Vince, who I haven't seen in like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, he's like, I'd like to talk to Vince. I'd like to talk to Shane. I'd like to talk to people who are around. But I'd like to talk to. But yeah, she's at some point it's like, Martha, give up the ghost. Okay. Martha's basically said, I'm in charge and it's never going to happen.
That darn good WrestleMania where he actually beat his brother and you won't put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he actually beat his brother.
He is completely and totally against it.
Well, Brett jobbed to his brother, yes.
Well, okay, but it looked good.
It looked good.
It looked
good.
good.
He jobbed to his brother. It looked good. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with jobbing to your brother. I mean, if there's 1,000 reasons to job in the wrestling industry, and doing it for your brother is probably near the top of the list.
I mean, if you look at
good reasons to do it.
If you look at the two between Brett and Owen, both of them were excellent wrestlers. They just had different styles. Owen could do any style on the wall he wanted to. He could do anything, even though he was a short guy. Even when we gave him a bad, angle, he could make something out of that bad angle.
Oh, the gobbledygooker, yeah.
But no, this saga.
He was blue.
He was the Blue Blazer.
Blue Blazer.
In fact, the night he died, we came back. We were doing the info line back then. And I remember after he came over, we did the info line right after he died.
Yeah.
Oh.
You were like, "This is not a shoot. Owen Hart's dead."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that night. That was something.
It was unusual.
So before we get to the next story about Brock Lesnar, I want to talk to you a little bit about Brock Lesnar. But when the hell is he leaving the WWE? Or when is he giving up the belt? Well, I have read multiple stories and multiple theories about Brock Lesnar. The one that makes the most sense is Vince stopped caring about the Universal belt when he realized that the only way to wash the taste out of CM Punk out of his mouth was to give it to someone who could sit on it for one day past Punk's record-breaking
540
run
some days
with the belt.
Holding the belt.
So he gives it to Brock Lesnar, who defends it 3 times a year, and essentially that belt doesn't exist. In the meantime, ratings have gone on the toilet for the WWE, and part of the reason ratings have gone on the toilet is your belt is never defended on the show. Your big belt, your main belt, the Universal title, is never seen, never talked about, never defended. And we have this stupid, shale-tasting crap with Roman Reigns about, I want another chance to beat him. I lost. I want another chance to beat him. I lost. So the deadline is passed. CM Punk's reign has been shattered by Brock Lesnar's reign. By this recording, he still has the belt.
Yes, he does.
Right.
When are they going to unload it from him?
Well, his official contract in the WWE ends in August.
Great.
Right around SummerSlam.
Right around SummerSlam.
So he's going to dump it at SummerSlam.
No, he's not.
For God's sake!
You know why he's not going to dump it at SummerSlam? And I was talking to Rodney about this.
Yeah.
Because Vince
knows that's
the easiest answer for him to drop the belt. No.
So he drops it the next night at Raw.
No, he didn't have to drop the belt. He wins the match at SummerSlam. He goes berserk and does something like beat the crap out of somebody. Someone who he's fighting with decides to want to bleed a lot. And then they go, we have to strip you of the belt.
But
then you have to have a tournament.
That cheapens it.
And then you do a tournament. And guess what happens 6 to 8 months from now?
6 to 8 months.
I don't care. Nobody cares no more after that.
I don't care 6 to 8 months from now. I really don't.
they strip him of the belt. Guess what happens 6 to 8 months or a year from now?
What, he comes back?
You don't think he's coming back?
I know he's coming back. But you know what?
I don't care if Brock Lesnar is in the WWE. What I care about is he sits on the belt. Nobody else gets a chance to have a crack at the belt. Nobody else gets a chance to do anything with the belt. Or to do any storylines with the belt. It's basically just off the table, throw it in the garbage, doesn't exist. They took it to WCW, threw it in the garbage can. That's the end of it, no more belt. I don't care if Brock Lesnar's in the WWE. You can make Undertaker out of him. No, he's never going to do another belt run, but you know what? We got this one match with him against Samoa Joe, and they're going to beat the living crap out of each other for 10 minutes. Okay, I'll watch that. Is there a belt involved? No.
No, we're just beating the crap out of each other.
It does destroy the mystique of the belt. It does.
Belts don't matter anymore.
No,
they matter for storyline. No, belts don't matter, period. They never have that. They matter for his storylines.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference why I see in that. AJ Styles is the champion over at SmackDown, right?
Exactly.
AJ Styles looks damn good with that belt on there not because he's AJ Styles, but because he defended it like 5 or 6 times in the span of 4 months. Every time him and Nakamura get together, we're putting a belt up. Let's just do it like that.
Okay, well the Nakamura thing is really turning into a
well, they moved on from that. They moved on from that.
The dog bite kind of killed that one.
Yeah.
But him getting the belt, holding the belt, defending the belt, working the belt. That's the storyline.
Yeah.
That's the storyline.
I have more respect for AJ Styles than I do Brock now.
And that's why people look at SmackDown as the better show.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So when are they going to strip the belt off of Brock Lesnar and let him beat other people up and shove him off to the side like The Undertaker?
I think, you know what I think? You know who he's going to lose to? If he loses? Strowman.
Great. Okay, give Strowman a push.
I would have gave Strowman the belt back when he won.
No.
What, they cash in the night after?
He can cash in the night of.
No, I like it better on SmackDown on Raw if he does it because remember when AJ Patron, he won the match, he won the belt from Cena, and all of a sudden Ziggler says, "Guess what? I got the briefcase. Let's go." And that was supposed to be the biggest pop that Ziggler had of his career right there because he broke out of the unbreakable hold and won the belt.
Here's going to be the storyline: whoever he wrestles at SummerSlam, if he's going to lose that night, he wins the belt. The person who he's fighting beats the crap out of him. Strowman comes out and wins the belt. Cashes in. Brock's head on the ground. He can't move. He's messed up. He's bleeding.
But people want to see Strowman versus Brock.
They did
for the belt.
Not cashing in while he's down. And Strowman
is not the kind of Roman Reigns a half dozen times. So what?
Yeah,
do it again.
I know, but I think Strowman doesn't want to sit up there and do like this. Oh, he's knocked out. Let's do it right now. Strowman wants you at your 100% because he's basically said that to every opponent he's been with.
Then you can do it.
I want you at your 100% so I can beat the crap out of you.
Then you can do it the night after SummerSlam.
That's what I'm saying. The night after SummerSlam, Brock and Paul just sitting up there talking smack, and all of a sudden here comes Strowman smacking the briefcase, saying, "I got a referee, guess what? Get in the ring, we're doing this right now." And he laughs it off and he gets his butt beat, and next thing you know, that's it, no more Brock till next year.
Well, the other flip is that Heyman turns on him.
Well, Heyman and Reigns being together is the only thing that makes any sense at this point.
Heyman has said quite clearly he doesn't mind managing Reigns, he doesn't mind managing Rousey.
That's the only thing that would save Reigns right now because this thing would.
Well, one other thing would save Reigns. He goes away for 6 to 8 months.
He has to.
He goes away. He goes away because he is snake bit.
He is poison.
He needs to have a quote unquote injury and go on the shelf.
Movie
just like his friend, fellow Shield member.
Ambrose should be back.
Ambrose.
He should be back.
As a matter of fact, there's your revolving door. One comes in, the other goes out. Okay. Ambrose is back. Oh my God, I hurt my knee. I got to go on the show for 3 months, 6 months.
Yeah, because he's been popping out of the Performance Center, so Ambrose is probably back after SummerSlam. And Reigns is probably going to get a couple more roles too. So.
Going back to the story itself, Rock is going back to MMA?
He's in the USDA testing pool again. He can fight in January 9th of next year. He will have passed his suspension. Daniel Cormier's got the heavyweight belt, and that's going to be Rock's match. Cormier's also got the light heavyweight belt, so he can fight someone from that point. And Cormier has said quite clearly, at 40, I'm done. Cormier's 39. So next year's it. Now, what happens after that 40 years old? What happens when he hits to be 40? Where do you think he's going to go?
Well, you go to Vince.
You're going to go to Vince.
And you cruise.
Right. Cormier
My God, Undertaker still does matches, for Christ's sake. He retired 3 years ago.
Yeah, he did one in Cormier's already said, when he talks about the whole Lesnar fight, he says, we can fight him in the Octagon. We can fight him in WWE. I don't give a crap. Let's go. I'll fight you. Let's go. So, yeah, Cormier will probably stop 40, retire, because he's never going to fight John Jones, because nobody knows when John Jones is ever going to fight again. And so he ends up in the WWE in a year.
One goes out, one goes in.
One goes out, one comes in. And this Lesnar thing, it's a one and done. He's not going to fight more than once.
Yeah, but I agree with him. As much as I love Lesnar, I know Vince is doing this. This has Vince everything all over
involving, it. No, every angle and every storyline and every setup with Lesnar is only through Vince.
He needs to get out of his own way then.
Well, Vince will be doing the
Vince has been screwing up storylines going all the way back to Hogan.
Right.
Okay. For every brilliant storyline Vince comes up with, there's at least 2 or 3 that suck, and 1 or 2 of those that suck, he derailed. Yeah. They were fine storylines. He just screwed them up. Okay, that's it for the news. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have JR. He will be here with his review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then we will come back to say goodbye.
Every Sunday is super at Alternate Reality with our Super Sunday Sale. Each Sunday we pick a different character, family, or publisher, and we discount all of their comics and trade paperbacks 25% off all day long. What we pick for the sale is different each week, but each Sunday you'll save 25% off. And that's all day long, all day Sunday, only at Alternate Reality.
Hello everybody, this is good old JR, Jim Rutkowski here with a review of yet another big summer Hollywood movie. And yes, it's only been 2 months since Avengers Infinity War, but we're already on to the next Marvel Cinematic Universe offering, and this time it's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So, how long have you been Ant-Man again?
Not long. It just sort of happened.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back.
You go low, I'll go high.
I have wings. Why would I go low?
I was partners with Hank on a project called Goliath.
How big did you get?
My record, 21 feet. You?
65 feet.
65.
If you two are finished comparing sizes...
I wasn't the biggest fan of 2015's original Ant-Man. I found the film to be good-humored and jaunty, but a little on the flat side. Maybe I never quite got over Disney's firing of original director Edgar Wright. Just left a bad taste in my mouth. But taking everything that worked from that film and ramping it up even more so for Ant-Man and the Wasp has created an ideal elixir for viewers who are still grappling with all those weighty events of Avengers Infinity War. This is a consistently inventive sequel. It's goofy in spirit, but it treats its story and characters with a lot of earnestness that they deserve. It's a juggling of lightness and gravity, and it's aced by returning director Peyton Reed and his screenwriters, who just happen to have also written last year's Spider-Man Homecoming. In terms of pure fun, this 20th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in my opinion, is one of their best efforts. Now, former burglar turned superhero Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is 3 days away from completing his house arrest sentence for assisting the Avengers and disobeying the Sokovia Accords. Should be easy enough. He's got a drum kit, karaoke machine, and John Green's tearjerker novel The Fault in Our Stars to pass the time. But scientist Dr. Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, and his daughter Hope, played by Evangeline Lilly, soon come calling for Scott after he experiences a sudden vision of Hope's mother, Janet, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, presumably killed 30 years earlier when she shrunk to a subatomic level and became trapped in the time and space-defying quantum realm. Hank always assumed his wife was lost forever, but now, maybe not. When Scott went subatomic 3 years earlier and managed to return, it was all the hope Hank needed to dedicate his time to a machine built for traveling to and from this quantum realm. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, the actors and filmmakers are working in near-perfect synchronization. If its predecessor was an origin story by necessity, this sequel is freer to expand and explore the characters and their latest mission to save Hank's wife and Hope's mom from an irretrievable dimension. For Scott, who may be their direct link to Janet, his sacrifice could be no less than extensive prison time if he's caught breaking his house arrest. Side note, there's a clever workaround in keeping the police officers at bay with his ankle monitor active within the home, and those scenes are best left for you guys to discover on your own. Additionally, 2 human obstacles appear in the form of Sonny Birch, a shady tech guy, and a character named Ava, also known as the Ghost. It's a mysterious figure whose ability to phase through objects could eventually spell her death. Both wish to possess Hank's portable laboratory and the inventions inside, which, by the way, when that lab is shrunk down, it ostensibly turns into a suitcase. The revolving door of hands the building falls into transforms the narrative into a sort of a screwball chase movie of close calls and ticking time clocks. Paul Rudd is an endearing hero, as Scott Lang is more identifiable than the Thors and Tony Starks of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, simply because he's a blue-collar guy struggling to be a good father and make amends for his past mistakes. Stumbling into an opportunity to become someone who could potentially save the world may be dumb luck, but he comes to embrace this unexpected calling and doesn't take it for granted. Furthermore, Scott's relationship with his daughter Cassie, his ex-wife Maggie, and Cassie's stepfather are refreshing to see. It's a snapshot of a family of divorce who still manage to be friendly and supportive of one another. Now, Rudd is a seasoned physical actor, and he gets to show off a lot of those gifts throughout this movie. A scene where he shrinks to the size of a small kindergartner and has to race around Cassie's elementary school to retrieve something valuable is really funny. Given significantly more to do this time around, Evangeline Lilly is really on fire as Hope. Her WASP alter ego is the very first female superhero featured in the title of a Marvel film. Now, this watermark is a long time coming, 11 years to be exact, and Lily is excellent in the role. She's sympathetic, strong, intelligent, and savvy, and her drive to be reunited with a mother she hasn't seen since she was a little girl is the heart of this movie. And Lily's surprising comedic talents are displayed here in full force as well. Michael Douglas is amiable and forthright as Dr. Hank Pym, who's unwilling to let his chance of finding his long-lost wife pass him by, and as Janet Van Dyke, the original Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer is a radiant addition to the cast. Despite her character being quite different from that of Selina Kyle, it's impossible not to make the Batman Returns Catwoman connection while watching her here. With unmistakable elements of 1987's fantasy adventure film Inner Space hidden within this movie's molecular DNA, Ant-Man and the Wasp is whimsical and lighthearted, but never inconsequential. The screenplay is rich in imagination and a shrewd purveyor of monkey wrenches, raising the stakes throughout without so much as a single megalomaniacal villain in sight. Sure, the characters of Ghost and Sonny stand in the protagonist's way, but they aren't typical one-note bad guys with world domination on their minds. By and large, the people who fill the screen are relatable because they feel like regular people pushed and pulled into circumstances altogether more extraordinary than they could have ever imagined. Spending time with all these characters is a treat. Ant-Man and the Wasp is bursting with dynamic special effects, great action, and a gentle human element that never gets displaced. Now, there's 2 post-credit sequences in this film, and I'll tell you right now, stick around for the first, comes halfway through the credits. That one's the game changer, and it's going to have you salivating for next year's Infinity War follow-up. The second one, which occurs way after the ending credits, you don't have to stick around for. It's just a gag, a short gag, and not a particularly great one. Out of a possible 4 stars, I would say Ant-Man and the Wasp is worth 3.5 out of those 4. Come back next time when we'll go on yet another impossible mission with Tom Cruise.
Okay, that was JR's review. Can't believe you liked the movie quite that much.
He loved it!
He loved that movie. You can check out all of JR's reviews on the store's website, myalternatereality.com. I just published his top 10 list for the half year, the first half of 2018. His top 10 list has gone up. You can check that out. You can also check out the full text of his Ant-Man Wasp review that he just did, along with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other movies he's recorded over the years for me. That's myalternatereality.com. Be sure to check it out. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, do you have any final thoughts?
Remember, Rodney, this is the biggest week in comics and movie history.
Why is that?
That is because San Diego Comic Con is here.
Starting this Thursday, 4 days.
Oh, God.
Nerd Prom, baby!
God, San Diego.
And
I don't know about you guys, but I've really gotten to the point where I just don't care about San Diego anymore. I really don't care about San Diego. Outside of obviously news comes out of it, but beyond that, I just don't care.
Conan O'Brien's already there.
Well, good for him.
You know what?
Conan O'Brien's at the point in his career he's ready to set himself on fire to get people to pay attention.
Oh, people are watching him. Yeah, he goes.
You know what? No longer about what's coming out in new issues, this or new storylines or something like that. It basically denigrated to the newest video game this and whatever person is trying to do a TV show based on some sort of 80s toy. And it took all the whole mystique out of going to the San Diego Comic-Con in the first place.
If you're going for news, there's really no mystique because you don't have to go because it's online.
Yeah, exactly. So
what you're doing is you're walking around to see the vendors and go to the panels, which people line up for like blocks to go into because you get to see stuff that you're not going to see before. Yeah, but news-wise, the San Diego's weird because Dynamite and Boom usually release all their stories the Wednesday before it starts. Now, this con, unlike most cons, there are going to be a lot of comic announcements being made at this con.
Well, there's a big window there. Marvel's not showing.
Marvel Studios isn't showing up.
Marvel Studios. Marvel
Comics is showing up. Yeah. Marvel Comics is announcing at least 5 to 6 books this week. DC's supposed to release at least 2 or 3. You already had the first things of what Titan's doing, Blade Runner comics. There's going to be a lot of TV stuff there. It's also going to be the first time you get to see the Doctor Who folk. Because they're coming.
That may be the biggest thing
to San Diego. And apparently DC's going to go. Apparently DC's going to show the first Aquaman footage there. Apparently, and all the DC Universe stuff.
Well, that would make sense.
So.
And then go. Okay, here's the Aquaman thing. We don't have anything else after this, so watch it.
No, I bet you they'll have Shazam pictures too because one picture broke this week. I bet you they have more.
I actually like that picture.
That's a great picture.
I actually like that picture.
Yeah, him holding the 12-pack under the one arm and drinking a can of pop, standing next to some other kid.
I actually like that.
Was it Soda Cola?
It was Soda Cola.
I didn't look at it that close. Was it Soda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's got to be footage of that by now. So.
What about the DC streaming?
They might even have a 30-second trailer thrown together.
You might
Captain
throw a quick trailer. Well, yeah, and you'll probably get some. Well, the Titan show, as far as I know, most of those episodes have been shot. Yeah. So there's probably a video for that, and all the animated stuff, as far as I know, is done.
Well, they're
starting Swamp Thing now. They're like 2 or 3 weeks into production.
So they've been pushing the DC streaming thing with the picture of Robin for the last week. They've been pushing it hard with just that picture of Robin where he's dirt and blood splattered on his face. So I would assume that they will have something for that.
Yeah, and you're gonna have a lot of you're gonna have a Walking Dead panel where everyone's gonna go. So how exactly are you gonna write Rick out of the show? How exactly are you gonna write him out of the show? Okay. And you'll, of course, get all the FX stuff and all the CW people. All that stuff's going on. It's always news-wise, when I'm pulling news, San Diego is just it's a major amount of stuff to do. I have to pull news every single night. Okay, Thursday, pull news. Okay, Friday night, pull news. If I go, I can pull news on Tuesday. No, I can't, because I'll be sitting in front of the computer for 7 to 8 hours. I'm not doing that.
But San Diego, for me, as far as dealers go, if you've been to one Comic-Con floor, you've been to them all. There's nothing that's not going to be at San Diego that you haven't seen at C2E2, that you haven't seen at Wizard, that you haven't seen at New York Comic-Con, that you haven't seen anywhere else. Nerds acting poorly. There's going to be lots of stories about nerds acting poorly. I am bored to death with nerds acting poorly. I really don't care anymore.
What is Henry Cavill going to walk around the floor dressed as this year?
Maybe the Invisible Man, because he sort of got in trouble when he said a couple of days ago.
He got in trouble with all the women.
Why? What did he do?
He believed.
He made a comment.
I don't know if it was an interview. It wasn't part of a story. I don't know if it was an interview or what. But he was talking about how you can't even say hello to a woman anymore without sexual misconduct allegations or something like that. And he said dating is really hard nowadays. And of course,
well, he's the one who broke up with Gina Carano. What's wrong with him?
Well, everybody who's too sensitive about the subject, of course, went crazy, and then all the crap hit the fan, and it's like, whatever. The man, he should be replaced as Superman because he obviously, he's a sexual predator, and he said nothing in his comments was even remotely sniffing of being a sexual predator.
He said I'm a single predator because I'm looking for a date,
or a misogynist, or just to be a misogynist. There's very little in there. You really have to parse it and twist it. But what the hell? Well, his problem is he's on the wrong side of people liking him because of what he's not because of anything he's done, but because of what he's been in, and none of which is his fault. He was just hired to play a part, and he's on the wrong side of that right now, which is, like I said, isn't his fault. But he probably just didn't say anything about anything.
Mission Impossible opens in 2 weeks. People have forgotten about it already.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it. We're done with Finish. We're out of here. We got no more time for any more news or any more show today. Be sure to stop off, as I said before, store's website, myalternatereality.com, for Bo's news, for JR's reviews, for Vito Carly's reviews, and, of course, shipping and much, much more, myalternatereality.com. Until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
Ralph Lesner, colon kitties.
This is Bo saying, hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. I had that.
And this is me saying, bye! Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at aircomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. The opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.
Elvis has left the building.